Hi, so today I'll go through how you can transition from JavaScript to TypeScript in Next.js within 10 minutes. So let's jump right into it. So to convert any project from JavaScript to TypeScript, you only need four things. You only need a component props type. We'll get back to it. You only need API response type, and you only need state/variable type within the component, and you only need function argument return type. So what does it mean? So let's say I have this project here. So as you can see, it's a very normal component. It has only one child component counter, and we are doing some API call and use effect. It's a normal practice. Let's say you want some data from the server and you want to display on the screen. I am just fetching this and I'm logging it, and then I'm setting a state in this, as you can see here, and I am passing it onto the counter component. So pretty simple. And if I go to the counter component, what is it doing? It is just accepting these three props and displaying it. So pretty normal stuff. So let's go through our points one by one. Now I want to move from this to the TypeScript. So what I will do is I will create another file here, which we will call typesafe index.tsx, and I will just copy all of these things here. And as soon as I pasted it here, you can see that there are a lot of errors here, which I'm seeing. So what does it say? So let's go through one by one. It says unsafe assignment of any value. So what does any mean? So there is a saying that JavaScript is a TypeScript with all the types with any. So if we go to get user here, we don't see any errors because it's a JavaScript file. And if I make another file here called get user typesafe.ts, and I just paste all of these things here. So now I'll see some errors. What does it say? It again say unsafe return of any type value. Because this response has any type, we have not explicitly given any type to this API response. That's why this is giving us this error. So I'm making an API call here, and I don't know what I'm getting in return. So if I go to the browser and open my console, as I was consoling the original response here, as you can see, this is the user that I was getting from the API. And now if I want to make a type of this, which means I want to tell the compiler that this is the response type that I will get from this API. How can I do that? You can, in this age, you can copy object, you can go to ChatGPT. That's what I do. Previously we used to copy and paste a lot of stuff. So I open this object in TypeScript. So as you can see now, it is giving us these types. So what I can do is I can just copy this. I can paste it like user.type ts, and I'll just paste it here, and I'm gonna export it. Alright, or I can say user profile, just to give it a good name. And if I want to give it a type of a user profile which we have just created, I will just provide it here like this. And now as you can see, the error is gone. This is the ESLint warning, by the way. We can ignore it, it's fine. So now if we go to the hover over get user, we see that now it has some type in it. Previously, if we go to get user here, and if I hover over it, it says any. Any means anything. But here we explicitly get user profile as a return type, right? Now our, and by the way, we have covered, by doing this, we have covered this point, right? So this is done. Okay, now moving, and we have also covered this point as well, right? Because we have given API response type, we have given function argument and return type as well. Now moving on to our component, we have a function, we have an API call, which we are doing here right now, but what does it say? It says that get user, because right now this get user is from our JavaScript file. If I change it to say type safe, now that error is gone, but here we'll see another error. What does it say? It says argument of type user profile is not assignable to parameter of type set action null. What does it mean? Which means that the thing that we are getting in return here, which is a user profile, is not assignable to type to the user, which has a, at the moment, null as its type. So how do we give a type to this state? We simply open these arrow brackets and we give it a type like this. But now it gives us another error. What does it say? It says the argument of type null is not assignable to parameter of type user profile. Okay, so that means I need to give it a value which is of type user profile. So the one thing is I may initialize some values here like these. All of these are my user properties. I can provide these values, but that's not a good thing to do. What I will do is I'll just say null and I will give it a null as an initial value. Moving on, and now you can see that this error is gone, so which means we have just covered this point as well. Cool. Now the only last part is giving a type to a component. And how do we do that? So here it says okay, it's some ESLint error which we can avoid by using void operator here, so it's fine. It just says it gives nothing in the response, so it's okay. So this is our component, and we'll focus here. So if I go to counter here, I'll see that I have a bunch of error warnings here. And if I change this to counter, or for the sake of this video, let's make another component so you can clearly identify what are the differences. So here we are seeing some errors as well. So what do we need in component to make it a type safe, right? So we want to create an interface, right? Let's say iCounter props, and we give it a type just like we did it for the functions, that these are the argument types. We want to give it the same thing here. And as you can see, the Copilot is giving me a good suggestion here. So type has a string, count has a number, and user has this type. But as we know that user doesn't only have only has this object type, but it has a user profile type. So we can do it like this, right? And now, but I still have some errors here, so that's over here. So it is still saying the binding element type unless it has an any type. So now we have created our type, but we want to give this type to our component as well. So there is a thing called React FC. See, iCounter props. So this is the syntax. What does it say? It says that this counter component is a functional component. As you can see, we have functional component, and it has a type of this, which means these are the arguments that this component accepts. So now if I go here, I hover over here, there's type has a type has a type of a string, count has a type of number, and user has a type of user profile. So this is how you can transition from JavaScript to TypeScript and using only these four things. So just as a reminder, what we only need component props type, which is here. These are the props type of the component. We only need API response type, which we gave here. We only need a state variable type, which is here, right? And we only need function argument or return type, which we got here.